much indeed. Good evening. Welcome to Have I Got News For You? I'm Alexander Armstrong. In the news this week, as UKIP's new MPs arrive at the European Parliament, suspicions are aroused over the party's claims of ethnic diversity. After an invitation to appear on BBC News to discuss the European election, Norman Tebbit is driven to the studios. In Naples, after being cleared on a technicality, the captain of the Costa Concordia goes back to work. And in Westminster, Boris Johnson is asked if he became Prime Minister, would he press the nuclear button?
No, I don't know. No, I know it's a matter of sublime. I mean, yes. I mean, no. Who cares? I mean, I know it's very important. It's very important. Well, I'll watch this space. I don't know.
On the Ins team tonight is an actor in the BAFTA-winning sitcom Him and Her, in which he plays the part of Dan, lovable, socially awkward, a bit of a loser. He also does stand-up. Please welcome Joe Wilkinson. And with Paul tonight as the TV presenter who, after winning this year's European Poker Tour, used Twitter to say, "I won, I bloody won." The very same message Ian put out after winning this series. Only he used a carrier pigeon. Please welcome Victoria Coren Mitchell. And so we start with the biggest stories of the week. Paul and Victoria, take a look at this.
Yeah. Right, yes, there's been an election, and the man with the... It's always full, that pint. It's never half full. What is it still being supplied up his arm? And there are people congratulating him on not finishing the pint, and there's somebody going, oh, I'll get stuck in here. Yeah, yeah, so those are the losers, I think. Those are the people who wish they weren't standing in a gymnasium with no votes. And this is a reenaction of the Kennedy assassination. Oh, no, it isn't.
I'm hoping it isn't a question very specifically about the results, because I didn't really look at the results. I voted.
Yes.
But then I thought it was a bit like... It reminded me of when I bought a DVD of The Hurt Locker. I thought, I've done my bit. I don't actually have to watch it.
No.
It was the best result for someone who's not the main party for 100 years. The annoying thing is Farage says, I'm going to do this, and he did it. You know, and in our political life, saying you're going to do something and then doing it is really annoying.
The UKIP fox is in the Westminster hen house.
It is, yes.
I found that slightly confusing. Partly because I always thought Westminster was meant to be full of fat cats.
Yes.
Who presumably eaten the hens, so the fox will do what? Mate with the cats.
Yes.
How do foxes and cats get on? I'm not sure.
Well, they mate in the wild.
He
Do
doesn't...
they?
He doesn't...
No.
He's...
But for the purposes of this bit, yes.
He's not very foxy, though, is he?
No.
He looks like a sort of friendly toad.
Mr. Farage?
Yes.
Yes, you can see him in sort of tweed, pooping down the country lane.
The Sun actually very helpfully showed us what he'd look like as a fox.
Oh, did it?
Yeah.
It's also not true, because they're not in the Westminster hen house, because he hasn't got any MPs. That sounds very grudging. And it's not just because, you know, you look at the effect that having a go at him on this programme produced.
When the results came in, he said it was his dream come true, isn't it? I thought I'd quite like my dream to come true, because I once dreamt I'd run him over with a plough. I was gutted when I woke up.
Do you know what UKIP's plan is called? The Grand Master Plan.
The Grand Master Plan.
Do you know what it's called?
That's what it's called.
No, it's got a better name even than that.
Colin.
The Canadian Plan.
The Canadian Plan?
Yes. Do you know why it's called the Canadian Plan?
No, it's the Canadian plan because in Canada the Tory party were wiped out completely and were replaced by a slightly more right-wing Tory party.
To be fair, though, whatever people say about Nigel Farage, he is always drunk. So it's possible he doesn't know he's leading a political party. Maybe you might think he's on a sort of massive international pub crawl.
People basically voted for him because they thought, yeah, he drinks in the daytime too.
Yes, his influence has been particularly strong in Essex, tradition, obviously, a Tory heartland. In Epping Forest as well, there's a tree here that looks very like Nigel Farage. The political classes have been accused of failing to understand people who vote UKIP, so I think let's just have a look for ourselves.
Yeah.
Really, you want to get out the AEC and fight for our own and be a better Great Britain again, like before it was everything else. Because Great Britain was all over the world then.
Then Bruce Willis has let himself go, hasn't he?
Is he one of the items for sale in the shop? Can you buy him for £5?
In his defence, he had been in the pub with Farage all day. So.
What did the BNP's Nick Griffin, who lost his MEP seat, what did he have to say?
Nick Griffin said they were racist. Which is... It's like when Karl Lagerfeld said that Adele was ugly, when he looks like he's been doodled by a lunatic.
It was the most encouraging thing about the election. I mean, it's the biggest swing to the far right Europe's ever known, and in this country, the BNP lose their one seat. You know, we've got far right light. It's sort of golf club right. We've got. We haven't got Front National, you know, jackboot. Even one of the German leaders said they're fascists. You know, and they have got a good record of spotting them.
Nick Griffin said, "We are indeed what you might call racist."
Oh.
And explained their drop in support by saying they voted for UKIP's racist policies instead. Did you see any of the strange fringe parties? In Germany, the Dadaist party candidate was elected. They campaigned with slogans like, Merkel is stupid, hands off German willies, no to the EU penis norm, and proposed building a wall around Switzerland. What did Boris Johnson call this EU-wide electoral movement?
A blip.
No, he got a great word for it.
A blob.
A flange.
A jacquerie, he said, a peasants' revolt.
Ah.
He wrote in the Telegraph, the pitchfork-wielding populists are converging on Brussels, drunk on local hooch and chanting nationalist slogans and preparing to give the federalist machinery a good old kicking with their authentically folkloric clogs. The Conservatives are very upbeat and gung-ho. Why is that?
They don't understand the situation.
And normally, if you're in the party in power, you get wiped out during these elections. But they didn't do that badly. I mean, none of the main parties. I mean, they lost. It's very boring analysis. You can tell I was up all night. It was fabulous. It was like the FA Cup final for some of us.
Some Tories have absolutely no hope of winning back the voters of places like Essex, including the Tory MP for Thurrock. Jackie Doyle-Price said, I don't think David Cameron has ever had Essex man. Here's the Sky News reporter John Craig trying to describe what David Cameron's next move is.
David Cameron will travel to Brussels later today for a meeting with Europe's leaders that was always scheduled for immediately after the European elections, but now has assumed... Oh, fucking hell.
We do apologise for that. That was a not really recording, and our apologies here from Sky News.
He's been caught out. He's pretending it's live.
Yes. How long's that clock been there?
I love the way she's so calm.
I thought that was the report of what the European leaders had said.
So Ed Miliband travelled to Thurrock to try and win back the voters, kickstart Labour's campaign.
Yeah.
He was asked to sum up his message to the country in just one word. And he said, I'll give you two. One nation. And then went on to use 111 words to explain what he meant.
To be fair, that is quite a stupid question, though. Can you sum up what the Labour Party's going to do in one word?
Yes.
I mean, if he could, it wouldn't say much for what they do all day.
You could have just said nation. Just lose the first bit. And then just wander off.
You're desperately trying not to call UKIP voters racist. What did he call them?
Fascists.
No, he called them hard-working people doing the right thing, who love our country, but who say, our country is not working for me.
You didn't have to say it in one word, then.
Although, in a recent poll, what do a sizable chunk of the population call themselves?
Racist.
Yeah. 30% of the population describe themselves as racist, or a little bit racist.
Well, that's interesting, because only 30% of the population voted. So maybe it was the exact same group.
Yes, these are the big winners in the EU elections. Nigel Farage described UKIP's success as a political earthquake, measuring at least 6.2 on the Reichstag scale. Sorry, the Richter scale. The UKIP leader's wife gave a behind-the-scenes glimpse of life, chez Farage, as he never calls it. telling the Daily Telegraph, "We don't watch a lot of telly, but he loves all the 70s stuff." Ah, yes, the 70s. They don't make them like that anymore, because they're not allowed to. Politicians turn to meat-based imagery to win over voters. Italy's Beppe Grillo said, "We will open up the European Parliament like a packet of sausages." Farage said there will be no more salami slicing of our sovereignty, while Ed Miliband has promised never again to eat another bacon sandwich. Ian and Joe, take a look at this.
Oh, lovely day out.
This is him weeping. He's looking very red-eyed. People think he was crying. That's Lord Oakeshott, trying to get rid of Clegg as leader, and that's Cable running away from the responsibility. This is the fallout. I mean, the Liberals had a very, very bad night. As soon as the elections were up, without saying, you know, what's going to happen or anything, they said, "You're going to resign, Clegg. You're going to resign. I bet you're going to resign. Do you want to resign now? Go on, cry. Go on, cry. Cry. How are you feeling? Resign, cry." And then... Look, I'm a journalist. I know how it's done.
Yes.
The headline on the BBC website was "Clegg, exhausted, red-eyed and pale," which I thought was quite good because, you know, women MPs get so ripped apart for what they look like and their shoes and so on. Oh, at least it's happening to the men as well. Exhausted, red-eyed and pale. And is that cellulite I spot? I thought, well, you know, the boot's on the other foot, I thought.
There was a Lib Dem coup to try and get rid of Clegg, which, of course, failed utterly and was ridiculous because the Lib Dems were doing it. I mean, they can't even do a coup. That bloke, Lord Oakeshott, conducted a poll saying, would it be better if we didn't have Clegg as the leader? And then he said, well, Cable knew about this, because the alternative leader is Cable. And then Vince Cable said, I didn't know about it. And then Oakeshott said, yes, you did.
He was asked whether he would like to be the new leader, and he went, no, I definitely don't. But I'm pretty sure afterwards he winked.
The poll was then leaked anonymously to The Guardian, who would only say that it had been commissioned by a Lib Dem supporter. The company that carried out the poll, ICM, would only say that it was a member of the Liberal Democrats, while Vince Cable gave a little bit more of a hint, saying, Lord Oakeshott's actions are totally inexcusable. So, yes, Lib Dem Simon Hughes was interviewed on Channel 4 News about this. Anyone interested in what he said?
Yes.
Yeah.
He said, Lord Oakeshott has been unhelpful for months and years. That makes two of you, Simon. A senior Lib Dem was quoted as saying, it doesn't matter if Oakeshott's in the tent or outside the tent, he just pisses all over the place. Lord Oakeshott's manoeuvrings have been described in the press as a putsch. What's a putsch?
Spelling mistake.
Putsch is where you topple someone.
Exactly. Don't know why they use a German word. It's a perfectly good English word. Coup d'etat. Oakeshott took some other pot shots. He said that Nick Clegg is leading the party to disaster and that the Lib Dems are a party with no roots, no principles and no values. Now, on the plus side, no little backstabby Lord Oakeshott. If Clegg is to go, who are the front-runners to succeed?
Chris Huhne's apparently up for it.
Well, actually, Chris Huhne was Matthew Oakeshott's choice. Oakeshott funded Chris Huhne and wanted him to be leader.
Charles Kennedy, is he going to come back?
That'd be nice.
Wouldn't it be nice?
Yeah. I mean, if all it requires is to go down the pub, then we were away.
Any good news, though, for Nick?
Well, I mean, he's Deputy Prime Minister.
Still.
You know, he'll be there for another year.
There we are. He was personally thanked by Nigel Farage for his sterling contribution to the UKIP victory. Which was very nice. So let's finish the round of the happy numbers. UKIP has proved they're now a serious party running for serious power. Here is Labour MEP Catherine Styler waiting for the result in Edinburgh, along with the ultimately successful UKIP MEP David Coburn. So good luck with that, Edinburgh. This is the Lib Dems' disastrous election result, and here's Nick Clegg after the elections at a youth club in Westminster. There we go. Sinking the yellows. The Green Party complained that in spite of getting more votes than the Lib Dems, the BBC was completely ignoring them. Anyway, here's another picture of Nigel Farage with a pint. So at the end of that round, it's 2 points each. And so to round 2, the picture pull-out quiz, much the same as the picture spin quiz, but we've dispensed with that expensive spinner. So fingers on buzzers, teams. Yes, Paul and Victoria.
Yes, Luis Suarez has got a knee injury. There's a World Cup coming up soon. He's playing for Uruguay against England. He's had a successful knee operation.
Well, Lewis apparently has texted all of England's players to
Yes.
say that he will be ready and fit
Yes.
in time.
Yes.
I mean, I'm not a doctor, but if
No.
he doesn't want a knee injury, maybe he should stop running about and kicking things.
Roy Hodgson is said to be very worried. Here he is, worried.
He's worried, yeah.
That's all, not eating enough fibre, maybe. What did the Sun do to help Lewis feel a little bit better?
Did they make his knee look like a fox? They've got a special fox applicator now. They feel as if they should use it every week.
No, they sent him a get well slowly card.
I am actually, because of the next
Yes.
World Cup being in
Yes.
Qatar,
Yeah.
which is terrible, and all those people overworked and dying and so on, I've said I'm going to boycott this World Cup. I am not going to watch a single match. What do you think, Ian? Will you join me in the boycott? Not going to
Yes.
watch a single minute of football.
Yes, and it will be totally on principle.
Yeah.
A bit sad state of affairs where we're just hoping that the other players get hurt. It's not kind of a good strategy. I honestly don't think we're going to win the World Cup.
No.
Ooh, shut up. Let's go out in a blaze of glory. You know, look, let's not take our best players, let's take our worst players. Let's take, like, 11 pensioners.
Let's take the 1966 World Cup team.
I think the best chance we've got is if they don't complete the stadiums in time. We just have to call it a draw.
Well, on the subject of football, what is this?
That's Stephen Hawking's formula for how England will win the World Cup.
Is it?
Yes.
And here he is. There we are.
I think he's losing his touch, if I'm honest.
Yes, it's been put together by the PP in the corner. That's Paddy Power and Irish bookmakers as a publicity stunt in the hope that some news media will pick up on it.
Hawking summed up our chances by saying England couldn't hit a cow's arse with a banjo. He obviously wasn't at Wayne Rooney's last birthday party. Who surprised everyone by kicking a football this week?
Alex Salmond.
Alex Salmond, exactly. Heading a ball and trying to appeal to ex-SNP voters who've gone over the UKIP. This obviously got all the Twitter photo montages busy, and
Yes.
they came up with this. And this. What's the big football news from Scotland?
Oh, come on.
They drew with Nigeria.
Yes.
That's the big news.
This is the big news. Being investigated by police over claims it has been targeted by match fixers. Would you like to see the Nigerian goalkeeper not saving a goal?
I'd love to see it.
I saw 20 quid sticking out of his glove. Afterwards, he said, "Whoopsie, what am I like?"
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Do you not get arrested for that?
No, actually, we're not suggesting, of course, that anything untoward took place.
I thought you were.
No, we're not. We're
No,
absolutely
not bring
not.
us into it. I thought you
We're
were.
not. No. Look at this. Nothing untoward. That's kind of fine.
I think alarm bells started ringing when someone bet 50p on Scotland.
Do people ever investigate poker matches? Is that ever...
There was one a few years ago. There was one where a chap... I thought this was quite clever. A chap had paid the masseuses. These days they have girls give people massages at the poker table. And a guy had paid the massage girls that while they were standing behind somebody to signal with their hands what the cards were.
I mean, that's subtle compared to just doing that, isn't it?
The goal was disallowed. And he's their coach. He should know. He had 50 grand on a draw, didn't he? 50 grand on a draw.
This is the build-up to England's early exit from the World Cup. The Sun delivered a get-well-slowly card to Suarez to the Uruguayan embassy. Officials weren't amused, telling the Sun journalists this is an embassy, not a circus. To which they replied, that's OK, we're a comic, not a newspaper.
Very unfair to the Beano.
So, next one. Fingers on buzzers.
This is the Home Alone guy, Macaulay Culkin, who's set up a band who are a sort of parody of the Velvet Underground, but the parodies involve pizzas.
Exactly right. They're called the Pizza Underground.
So we have some song titles with pizza puns in them.
Yes. Perfect Day becomes Pizza Day.
Well, that's not a pun.
I'm beginning to see the light becomes I'm beginning to eat the slice.
Where's I'm waiting for Deep Pan?
Oh, they haven't even done Sergeant Pepperoni.
This is where you've got to ask, you groan at Sergeant Pepperoni, but not at I'm beginning to eat the slice.
They played in Nottingham, where an angry music fan, Patrick Mendes, told Culkin, I'm glad I lobbed a pint, and I'm glad it hit you. Then they went to Manchester. Macaulay Culkin stormed off stage after a fan interrupted his kazoo solo. In other pop news, what is going on here?
Well, Jeffrey Boycott, and who is that?
Katy Perry.
It is Katy Perry.
Ah, yes, that's
absolutely right.
Yep.
Jeffrey Boycott got to meet his favourite pop star, Katy Perry. Bit of a slapper, meeting the charming Katy Perry. Here he is on Test Match Special.
I'm a good fan of pop music. I like that Katy Perry. She's a good singer. Singing Firework, that was a good record, that. She just has something about her voice. The voice is good, it's clear, it's strong.
Well, that's wonderful. I'm thinking with that
I don't think I'll ever meet her, Henry. She's American.
Also in our pop roundup, Ian, what have 1D been up to?
1D or 1D?
One Direction.
Penny in old currency, my love.
According to Smash Hits, they've been smoking marijuana. And I, for one, will not be buying their calendars anymore.
That's right.
Are they old enough to smoke?
I don't think it can be any age to smoke marijuana. I think it's...
Right.
I'm almost certain it's against the law. But yeah, they also filmed themselves smoking it. Now, I'm old-fashioned, I know, but if you're going to smoke marijuana, don't film it. Because you may get caught. It's the same reason I don't film myself stealing from petty cash.
Very wise.
Ian's bafflement is giving me a terrible flashback. You can't put this in the programme because it's just not interesting, but you might be...
It might be the best bit of the show.
We're just making a new series of Only Connect, which is this
yes.
slightly difficult quiz show that I make. And we had a team, lovely, you'd have loved them, Ian, very dignified older chaps. You have to spot the connection between clues, and they had the group Tomlinson, Payne, Horan, Malick. But they stood there and the clock was ticking and they're going, well, now, of course, there's Thomas Paine, of course, the great political essayist, Terence Malick. Or is it Art Malick? Absolutely, so far outside their frame of reference. And I started giggling and I thought, this is awful because they've only got this 2.5 minutes. I was slightly in tears. I just got myself together to ask them the question at the end. So what's the connection? Tomlinson, Payne, Malick, Styles. And he said, are they golfers? You'd have fitted right in anyway. Yeah. These are the members of One Direction. Members of One Direction.
I've just seen the connection.
Yes, 2 members of One Direction, Tomlinson and Malick, are alleged to be smoking a spliff in this video shot in Peru.
Well, if I'm in Peru, I think it's obligatory to smoke a joint in a car. It's in the driving test. Are you going to say at some point they might not have been smoking marijuana? I mean, you've only seen them smoking a roll-up. It might not be. It is possible. I don't know why I'm suddenly One Direction lawyer. But it is possible...
This is about as unconvincing as their defence will be.
No, but they're obviously being filmed. They're passing this roll-up around and they're going, yeah, joint lit and the police can't catch us. It could have been a joke.
So what has the fallout been?
Has their record dropped out of the top 10?
The Mail Online report instances of the band's huge global fan base ripping up their tickets for the upcoming gigs.
Yep,
Using them as a roach, I should think. Fingers on buzzers? Yes, Paul and Victoria.
Laugh out loud, or whatever it is. 25 years old as an abbreviation, as an acronym, whatever it is. LOL.
Has it always been lots of love? No.
Laugh out loud.
Laugh out loud.
I don't know. Might have to rethink some of those tweets.
I don't like the shortening of all this. I don't do it. I've kind of got to a point where I sort of do a protest against it, where when I send a text message, I do it like a formal letter. I put my full postal address in, then their address, and I put the date, dear sir or madam.
Further to your tweet of
Yeah.
the 3rd That sounds terrific. Do you want to send me one?
I can't, it takes ages.
So who invented LOL? Don't know.
Who invented it?
Well, allegedly.
Someone who needs a slap.
Yeah. Apparently it was invented by someone called Wayne Pearson. Came up with the acronym when he was on a message board laughing at something written by someone called Sprout. Do you ever use LOL, really? Sort of?
Not anymore. Now I've found out what it means.
Meanwhile, this week, Google dramatically changed their logo.
Oh.
Have you seen
God!
this?
I've just had 5,000 T-shirts printed.
Here's the dusty old logo. Watch, because here is the new one.
Yeah.
Hey, there we go.
Did I blink and miss it?
Do you see what they've done? They've moved the second G 1 pixel to the right and taken the L 1 pixel down and 1 to the right. So,
Does that help them
there we go.
avoid tax?
They could certainly offset it.
I always think the E's having a great time.
Oh, it's literally LOLing, isn't it?
But what else? What else have Google done this week, Paul?
I'm not telling you. Yeah, they've invented they've invented it, but they're pushing this car, the driverless car. You can see the scene in country pubs, can't you, in 20 years' time, where people come out completely and utterly drunk, stagger into the wrong cars, give the wrong address, and end up living somewhere else for 30 years.
And is there no chance that it'll just crash? The system?
Apparently it hasn't yet. I tell you what it can't do. They were saying one of the problems they have to get round is if there's a diversion or if there's an accident and there's a policeman saying stop.
Right.
Why don't you just plough into him?
They'll soon learn.
Yeah. Well, they're not that confident because they've made the glass sort of softer. So if you hit it, it won't hurt as much. Which doesn't fill me with confidence.
Because they've just had Google Glasses out.
Yes.
And then they found they give you a headache.
You get more of a headache if you smash into a windscreen.
Yes, this is the news that the acronym LOL is 25 years old. Another widely used online phrase is rolling on floor laughing, shortened to ruffle. But nowadays, if you sign off your message with that, you really have got to get the spelling right. Which means at the end of this round, it is 2 points to Ian and Joe, but Paul and Victoria, 5 points.
5?
And now on to the odd one out round. Ian and Joe, your 4 are Kim Kardashian, the Crown Prince and Princess of Thailand, the owner of Fenton, and Jeremy Clarkson.
Her wedding, it was ridiculously expensive. Apparently, it was like $4 million, I presume. Mm-hmm. Must have had a cracking buffet.
Fenton was the dog whose owner was on video when he was chasing the deer.
He was a dog.
He was a dog?
Yes. OK.
That's quite a big clue, then.
Yeah, I just...
But the others aren't dogs. It's not that easy, is it?
Oh, right.
Jeremy Clarkson's been in trouble. He's been in trouble a lot, but the racist incident before the last one...
Is this Slope or Eeny Meeny?
Oh, no, sorry, before the last one. So, yeah, we're going about 4 racist incidents back.
The Mexicans.
Come forward from the Mexicans. Well, too far. Back a bit now.
Oh, he called his dog after a footballer?
Didier Drogba.
But he called it...
Didier Dogba.
Yes.
All of them have dogs.
Except for one of them.
Except for the Thailand people.
Weren't the Thai couple in a sex scandal? Have I just imagined that?
There was a video made.
If there was a dog in that video, I really don't want to see a clip.
They had a birthday party for...
A dog. The dog's birthday party.
Yes. Meanwhile, what's going on in...
Meanwhile, in the other side of Europe, a man in a hut in Sweden is inventing dynamite.
embarrassing incidents to do with their dogs.
Except for Kim Kardashian.
Except for Kim Kardashian. Because her wedding...
The dog was the bridesmaid. The dog was the vicar. They were married by a dog. Reverend Labrador. That's how I pronounce your man and wife.
I'm going with that.
Yeah.
There was a dog festival or something.
A dog marathon.
A dog marathon, and they had to
dog
block the
marathon?
wedding.
They had to block the road outside the villa where Kim was having her wedding, so the wedding party had to dash to their cars before the road got closed. Have you ever been involved in a car dash, Ian?
Yeah, I think that's good.
So they're the odd ones out.
Who are?
Okay, Kim Kardashian is the odd one out.
Sorry.
A dog?
Yes.
Apologies. It's like coughing fit. Sorry.
You want to suck a fisherman's friend?
It's a cough sweet.
That's what he told me.
Max Miller lives.
Well, yes, they have all got into trouble over their dog, apart from Kim Kardashian, who had trouble getting to her wedding after a road was shut due to a dog marathon. Kim Kardashian invited Justin Bieber to the wedding, so even after the bride and groom had left, there was still a massive arse to stare at. Jeremy Clarkson was recently accused of racism for naming his black West Highland Terrier Didier Dogba. There was more canine-based racial tension when, in a park near Chelsea, Didier Dogba bumped into John Terrier. The Crown Prince and Princess of Thailand threw an extravagant birthday party for their pet poodle Fufu, which, according to a former US ambassador, holds the rank of Air Chief Marshal. Of course, that wouldn't happen over here, as the highest rank a poodle can achieve is Deputy Prime Minister.
If you're going to have a dog, it should be a decent size. Yeah. When Paris Hilton is clambering out of a limousine, I don't want to see her chihuahua.
Paul and Victoria,
yes.
Here are yours. The Colosseum,
yes.
Sheep in Northern Ireland, dog poo in Swansea, and a South Korean parking space.
I know about that, because I heard about that on the radio. They're having special parking spaces for women, which are going to be bigger than normal parking spaces.
So what happens if you park in the wrong sexual space?
I don't know.
You haven't found out by now.
They're also going to be painted.
Pink?
Pink.
Painted pink?
They are, yes.
Like a sheep.
In Northern Ireland.
Yes.
And the Colosseum, which is now pink. Is it?
No.
No.
Why might sheep in
Italy's
Northern
lax
Ireland?
about ruins, but, you know...
Seoul Council are spending $100 million on making the city more woman-friendly.
That's nice.
And this is part of... Do you know what else they're doing? There are other things they're doing. They're making the pavements are being resurfaced with a spongy material to make it easier to walk in high heels.
It wouldn't be easier.
No.
Wouldn't it?
To walk on a sponge?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, no. Anyway, so listen, that's what's happening in Korea.
It's
so
all
that's the
official
parking.
things.
OK.
If that picture of a dog was put up by the Swansea Tourist Board, then they really misjudged it.
No, OK, now, OK.
Ah, is this the dog that excretes autumn leaves?
When dogs leave something on the pavement, they're going to spray it pink.
Yes.
Really?
It's exactly right.
Really?
In order to highlight the problem of
Well,
dog
this won't attract
doos.
female drivers.
Only Koreans.
It's pink!
But in Swansea, this is to highlight the problem of dogs fouling the pavement. They're spray painting them pink. Sarah and Mark Harris up in Leicestershire have taken this one step further. They are planting pink flags in dog poo with the words dog poo on them to help people to avoid them, which is nice.
I think it's time to get another hobby.
This might be on the advice of a court. So the sheep must be painted pink as well, then?
Do you know why?
Yes, because they love it. It's their favourite colour. Look at him, he's happy, that one. So Colosseum's the odd one out because all the others are dyed pink and its natural colour is pink.
It is pink, exactly right. Yeah. That's exactly right. Yes, there we are. Brilliant. Right. Fantastic, yes. Do you know how they're doing this? Some very cutting-edge technology at the Colosseum. Do you know what they're using?
They're comparing it to old photographs and trying to make it look the same.
And they are cleaning it with what?
Toothbrushes.
Is it Centurions?
They're cleaning it with toothbrushes?
They're cleaning it with toothbrushes.
Is it a punishment?
Yeah. No, I don't know.
Is
I think it just
Berlusconi
gets
on
into the-
community service? 200 years.
They've all been spray-painted pink, apart from the Colosseum, which is undergoing a massive clean-up operation that will reveal the original stone had a natural pink hue. Sheep in Northern Ireland are being painted pink in honour of the Giro d'Italia cycling tour. Irish cycling pro Dan Martin said, "This is the biggest buzz I have ever experienced at the start of a grand tour." Note to judges, make sure you check his urine sample. Which means at the end of this round, it's 2 to Ian and Joe, but 6 to Paul and Victoria.
It's a slaughter. Very embarrassing.
Time now for the Missing Words round, which this week features as its guest publication Pain News. An annual subscription to Pain News can cost £250. Ouch. And we start with pure onion juice can what?
Ruin a lemon meringue pie.
Yeah.
Pure onion juice can reduce pain in rats. Next, a estate agent sends abusive text to woman who what?
Points out how pointless their stupid effing job is. Sorry, I just bought a flat recently. I haven't quite got over it.
Estate agent sends abusive text to woman who missed house viewing after her car exploded. Apparently, the estate agent called the woman rude and a fucking liar. Before adding, do you want a job? Next, Dr. John D. Lucer says what?
Please, can I change my surname?
Pain is all in the mind. You will take this aspirin, you will feel better in the morning.
Dr. John D.
That will
Lucer
be €125.
says pain must be introduced into the curriculum. Don't worry, Dr. Lucer. Michael Gove's already working on that. According to Pain News, another form of therapy is laughter yoga, or Hasya yoga, which was started by an Indian doctor named Madan Kataria. Last seen laughing all the way to the bank. Next, what held up by crayfish?
Building society.
Gangster fish.
What, Ronnie and Reggie Craig?
That's what I'm after. Stop it now. That groan is yours.
Roadworks held up by crayfish. This is on the A38 in Derbyshire. The crayfish are holding up the traffic. And there was one nasty road rage incident when one driver swore at the crayfish and the crayfish responded by giving it all that. Next, Kinky University changes its name to what?
Hello. Put these on.
Cirencester Agricultural College.
Yes.
Kinky University changes its name to be taken more seriously. A spokesman explained the university's thinking. "We have no choice but to change the English name because we are serious about pursuing a more international school culture," said Mr. Bottom Spanky. Next, fish under a full moon, what?
Fish under a full moon, and you'll always eat at night, though infrequently. It's a Chinese, it's Confucius saying, fish under a full moon mean man live in Hampshire.
Confucius big on Hampshire.
Yeah, huge.
Fish under a full moon for best chance of a big catch. Next, what blamed for rise in sexually transmitted diseases among over 50s?
Household pets.
Is it Wayne Rooney?
Now, that tells you something about the British. You boo the idea that pets might be involved, but Wayne Rooney gets a round of applause.
I don't even know who he is.
No. Top Gear.
The answer is... The answer is 50 Shades Effect. Oh. And finally, whilst perusing through the previous Pain News, I bumped into what?
Gibraltar.
Whilst perusing through the previous Pain News, I bumped into Mike Basler's first editorial. Oh. This is from an editorial by the newly appointed editor who drones on about thanking his wife for letting him accept the challenge, adding, "Happy wife is happy life." Smiley face. Though, having read his entire editorial, I'd suggest happy wife is having an affair.
watching this programme. Well, one of them is, the other one's pretending to be at work.
So, the final scores at the end of that round are Ian and Joe 2, Paul and Victoria 7.
They recognised the European elections and that was it.
On which note, we say thank you to our panellists Ian Hislop and Joe Wilkinson, Paul Merton and Victoria Corrin-Mitchell, and I leave you with news that in Hampshire, a vet manages to relieve Daisy the cow after 3 days of gastric bloat. There are concerns that Cabinet Office Minister Francis Maude may be suffering from water retention. And onlookers show their concern as Nigel Farage is trapped high up in a burning hotel building. Good night.
Tom Cruise and Coldplay with Graham Norton next on BBC One. Or for viewers in the north, it's the Super League Show.
Yeah, it's up to like.
Oh.
Roll on to Nigel Farage.
I beg your pardon. I didn't know we were having a party.